What I eat in a day. I don't really know what I'm going to eat today. Dim sum. This is my cookbook. I'm getting hangry, to be honest. Make the bloody dumplings. I'm very excited for this. Oh God, that's really embarrassing. Is everyone uncomfortable? Great. I feel very overstimulated today. Sounds like a bit of me. And now I have regressed. Roasty toasty. I cry, you're wasting so much flavour. Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you a what I eat in a day as somebody who is cooking for one, but also develops recipes for a living, but also hasn't done a food shop in a while, and is kind of going to be eating whatever's left in their fridge, I think. I don't really know what I'm going to eat today. I know what my lunch is going to be because it's a recipe that I want to film for Instagram. Other than that, I'm really not sure. As you can see, I started my morning a little bit slower than normal. I had a cup of tea in bed and caught up on the bake-off because I was working last night. Did a panel discussion for nutrition professionals who maybe want to work in social media or want to use social media as part of their work. And I was on there to talk about social media, not nutrition, because I am not a registered nutritionist and I think only registered nutritionists should talk about that. Anyway, I was working last night, so I had a bit of a slower morning this morning, catching up on Bake Off with a cup of tea. And then I went for a chilly swim in the Lido, which I have just showered and got ready for him, but I can still feel like the tingles, you know, like on the back of your arms when you're still actually really kind of cold. So I'm very ready for my breakfast and a delicious hot coffee. I got some new coffee beans actually. These coffee beans are from Money's, which is my favourite coffee shop in London. I used to live literally next door to this shop. I popped in there yesterday to get some of their Brazilian coffee beans, which these ones have flavours of milk chocolate and hazelnuts, which sounds like a bit of me. I don't really like coffee that's too fruity or too sour. I quite like a little roasty toasty coffee. So I'm gonna try these out. I'm gonna make a flat white, if you can call it that, as somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing, making coffee and steaming milk. And then I'm gonna make breakfast because I'm ravenous. Oh my gosh. They smell yummy. Well, that was truly some of the worst latte art I've ever produced in my whole life. I really don't know what's happened. I was on a roll, all making sense, and now I have regressed way back. This is worse than I was at the beginning. It might be because I've changed my milk and it's like a whole creamy milk from like a farm shop, like deli thing, do you know what I mean? As opposed to like supermarket milk. So maybe I need to switch back. I don't normally buy that milk, to be fair. But it's hot, it's caffeinated, and sometimes that's all you need. I will keep practicing. But in the meantime, breakfast. And I almost always have eggs on toast for breakfast because it's filling, it's nutritious, it's kind of what I crave. I always want something savoury when I wake up. But I have no eggs in. I have no eggs in the house, which I am very sad about. But I do have bread. And I saw this recipe yesterday from Emily on Toast, who is a really great recipe developer. She's on Instagram and Substack, maybe other platforms, but I know her on Instagram and Substack. And she shared a recipe yesterday for a pea pesto. She did it with crispy gnocchi. But I thought, actually, do you know what? Just toast on its own right now wouldn't be enough because I'm really hungry after my swim and I don't want something sweet on it. So a pea pesto sounds good because it's kind of slightly more filling than, I don't know, cream cheese on toast or something like that. Got the peas and some nuts in it. It also also sounds slightly more appealing than just the kind of peas on toast that people make as an alternative to avocado on toast, which I'm personally quite against. I just think it's, don't try and make it avocado on toast, like it's just a separate thing. It's just peas on toast, you know? It's also great, but it's not avocado on toast. Anyway, this one just sounds slightly more up my street because it's got the nuts and some fresh herbs in it. So I think I'm gonna give that a go. So it's gonna be frozen peas, nuts. I've got fresh mint, so I'm gonna use that, and maybe a bit of Parmesan on sourdough. Nom nom nom. I'm getting hangry, to be honest. So I really need to go and make this. Let's give it a go. And a little bit more lemon. Cheers. That's delicious. That is really, really lovely, and would actually be really nice with an egg on top or with some halloumi on it. That would be nice. It's just got a bit more flavor and substance than like a normal smashed peas on toast because of the nuts. The mint is also really nice. It is kind of giving pea and mint soup, but I love pea and mint soup, so that's no bad thing. But really delicious. And actually, if I hadn't run out of eggs, I wouldn't have tried this. So every cloud, huh? Very, very good. Thank you, Emily. Okay, it is in fact still the same day. I've changed my outfit because the recipe that I am about to make for my lunch, I'm also gonna film for an Instagram recipe, and the brown comfy cord that I was wearing before, I bought it last week and I've worn it every single day, which means that the last 2 videos on Instagram I've been wearing that outfit, and I just felt like I should probably wear something else. So it is still the same day, and I've pinned my hair back because I feel very overstimulated today, if I'm completely honest. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's filming. Sometimes filming it all just gets a little bit chaotic, but that might be why. So I just needed my hair not fully on my face. Anyway, lunch today is gonna be a pork and prawn steamed bun, and I'm very excited for this. So this is actually inspired by a recipe from my cookbook. This is my cookbook, and the reason I'm making this today is because I kind of I don't forget that I have a book. I just haven't taken a proper look at it for a while. I feel like it's not been on my mind that I wrote this. This came out last summer, in case you didn't know. I'll leave a link in the bio if you would like to get it. It's obviously all one pot, one portion recipes. Everything is single serve for people that are cooking for one. I love it so much. These pork and prawn dumplings are a way of reflecting on this book and on this specific recipe, which is pork and kimchi steamed buns, which you can see here. Oh, delicious. Let me pick up those things. This is the first ever copy I got of my book, so it has the little note that I got from my publisher in the front. These pork and kimchi steamed buns are so good, and I don't think I've made them since I tested them for the book, and they are very delicious. And as I say, I haven't done a food shop in a few days, but on Friday night I hosted a hot dog games night, which was very fun. I basically did loads and loads of hot dogs, and I did little different topping stations. So there was a kind of a spicy Korean hot dog with kimchi and mozzarella and gochujang mayo. There was a French onion dog with comté and caramelized French onions. There was a chili cheese dog with a chili and cheese, believe it or not, and coriander and sour cream. There was a Mexican street corn dog with esquites. Is that how you say it? Which is like corn mixed with mayo and mozzarella and a bit of feta and coriander or spring onion. And there was, oh, a Chicago dog. Classic Chicago dog toppings that I made into like a pickle. So tomatoes, onion, cornichons, and pickled peppers. Anyway, the reason that that is relevant today is because I still have lots of sausages left. I want to use up some of them before I freeze the rest of them. Oh, and the other thing I have is Greek yogurt. So we are making a really, really quick dough, which I use a lot for flatbreads and that sort of thing, which is just a flour and yogurt dough. And they make a really, really good steamed bun. So I knew I had sausages. I always have, as you can see here, lots of store cupboard staples: soy sauce, oyster sauce, fish sauce, chili oil, sesame oil, vinegars. So my flavors are always there. I have the pork as kind of the main thing, and then I have some prawns in the freezer, and I thought pork and prawn is a really classic, what's the word? Oh my gosh, what's it called? Dim sum. It's a classic like dim sum dumpling flavour, pork and prawn, and I have both pork and prawns. So we are going to make pork and prawn steamed buns, I think with a chili sesame dipping sauce. I'm really excited. I'm using this for reference. The dough in this book is actually slightly different. This is a yeasted dough. It's a really, really simple one. I'm just subbing it out today for a yogurt dough. Right, stop rambling. Make the bloody dumplings. Right, I have just finished filming the reel, so I have already had a little taste shot because I needed to include that in the reel. These are freaking delicious and honestly, so much easier than you might think. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as like a working from home lunch, but this could easily be a weeknight dinner. Genuinely, really, really doesn't take that long. Also, oh my gosh, embarrassing. There's somebody literally outside the garden. I think he's cleaning the gutters and he can definitely see me filming this, which is kind of embarrassing. But it's what we've got to do because it's my job. Anyway, I'm gonna eat, to be honest, I don't know if I can eat 3. I'll probably have 2 for my lunch. He is right there. If I literally look, just there, he's there. Eye contact would be made. So I'm going to look at you and at my dumplings. Oh God, that's really embarrassing. I'm cringing, are you? I am. Is everyone uncomfortable? Great, right. Anyway, pork and prawn dumplings for one, done and delicious. See you at dinner time. Right, it is very nearly dinner time. I want to get dinner started. Excuse the lighting. My kitchen's very dark right now and I'm not quite sure what the best lighting is, so I hope that this is okay. Yes, so it is dinner time. My main aim with dinner tonight is to use up some bits that I have in the fridge, which includes butternut squash, a red chilli, some baby spinach, and some fresh rosemary. Luckily, all of these things go together quite well. The other lucky thing is that this kind of doesn't count as like a fridge raid because these did just get sent to me very, very kindly. I just received a package from Bold Bean Co, which is one of my favorite food brands in the whole world. I truly think they are incredible. If you haven't tried them, you must, I insist. If you think you are not a bean person, try these and then tell me you're not a bean person, because I've converted many a bean, well, not bean hater, but like people who are not fussed about beans. I've converted many of them using Bold Bean beans. The Queen chickpeas are my absolute favorites. They are truly unlike any chickpea you will have ever had in your entire life. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. They really, really are. But today I have a hankering for a white bean. I can't decide whether to go for a butter bean or a white bean, like a cannellini bean. So I'm gonna ponder that while I prep the rest of the dish. What I was thinking in my head was that I was going to roast the butternut squash with some chili, some garlic, some rosemary. All of those flavors go together so nicely. And roasting a butternut squash really brings out the natural sweetness and a slight nuttiness, which is delicious. Then once that's roasty and toasty and soft, I'm gonna stir through one of the beans and the spinach until that gets a little bit saucy, a little bit creamy, everything breaks down a bit. Because the other thing about these beans is that they come in the most delicious stock. The juice that's in the jar is so full of flavour. When I see people washing these beans, I cry. You're wasting so much flavour. So I'm gonna stir all of that together. Let the spinach wilt down into this kind of like squashy beanie base. I then think I want to top it with a sliced pan-fried chicken breast. Now, this could very, very easily be a one-pot dish. And if this is as delicious as I think it might be, I will probably film this as a one-pot, one-portion dish for Instagram. Oh, and the way that you would do that, if you wanted to do it in one pan, you would sear the chicken breast in some spices first, then add the squash, roast that all in the oven, and then when the chicken is cooked, take the chicken out, let that rest while you add in the beans and the spinach, and then that would all get creamy while the chicken rests. Slice it up, put it on top. Perfect. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning I will do with this dish if I make it again in the future. Today I am going to get my squash on to roast first because I don't actually have a chicken breast. And I know that I'm meant to be using up stuff in my fridge, but I don't really have anything else I could use other than sausages, which would be very delicious with this. But I have already eaten sausages today and I think maybe I shouldn't have any more sausages. My other thought was this would be a really, really nice creamy, squashy beanie sauce tossed through pasta. And I'm very, very tempted to do that, but I have had pasta the last 2 nights and I just want to try it with the chicken. I just think that would be really delicious. So I'm not gonna do it as a one pot, one portion. I'm gonna do it as 2 pots, 1 portion. I'm gonna get the squash onto roast. I'm gonna pop to the shops, get the chicken, and then carry on. So let's get the squash on roast and let's make dinner.